Hi, I'm Sara Byks for Bath City Beat. Today I'm here at the Lorenzo Cultural Center exploring their new exhibit, The 1940s, Through the War and Beyond.
Well, with this program, we've tried to cover the ground of the 1940s. So if you think about the early 1940s, 1940, 41, before we got into the war, we're still sort of suffering some of the effects of the Great Depression. Then we move into the war and all of the effects that had on people serving overseas. So we've highlighted some local veterans whose stories are being presented, as well as things that were going on here in Michigan at home. And then after the war, what effects did things like the GI Bill have on Michigan and Detroit and the way that the suburbs are set up now, as well as people who were able to enter the workforce during World War II with women and minorities, and how were they treated after the war ended, and what did their ability to prove that they were able to handle those jobs mean after the war ended and they maybe got pushed out of some of those jobs.
Many artifacts and vignettes are on display at the exhibit. With a focus at home and abroad, the exhibit sends us back in time. You can learn more about World War II, along with the important jobs women took on, from factory worker to pilot. You can dive into the culture of the 1940s, seeing the great novels and movies that entertained billions. The exhibit also follows Michigan as it becomes the arsenal of democracy and experiences race riots. The changing culture is presented as the middle class grows and people push for equal rights. Pivotal changes took place in the 1940s that launched society into a new era.
The GI Bill, and that was something that came out of World War II, but it meant so many veterans were able to attend college as well as get home loans and to shape the very geography of our region. And also things like the changing workforce and women being able to have other jobs, and the influence of unions and unions taking on members from all races and classes, as well as the baby boom. All those people who are coming of age now but were born immediately after the war. It changed the way people grew up, and that group of people growing up in that post-war affluent time.
The exhibit also has countless presentations to focus on specific points in time during the 1940s. Many presentations are open that talk about the changing roles of women as they become more athletic and join the workforce. Detroit is also a major topic, exploring how the auto industry boomed and how they provided for the war effort. Two other major events include learning about how to plant a victory garden, which were planted at homes during World War II to help ease food shortages. The other is the big band swing dance that recreates the rhythmic time of a USO dance.
If you're here in the exhibit, I know a lot of people are going to be interested in our M20 armored car. The 1940 Lincoln Continental we have in the exhibit is also beautiful. But for me, as we saw things coming in, one of the most interesting things was not just women in the workforce, as I've mentioned, but also women in the military. We have a traveling exhibit from the Michigan Women's Historical Center and Hall of Fame. And within that exhibit, you can see that every branch of the military service had jobs that were open to women. So within the Coast Guard, Army, even the Air Force, there were women pilots doing supply missions to free up men to have combat roles. And that was really interesting to me, to see that women were not just in the workforce, but they were active serving military members.
The changes that took place in the 1940s launched us into a new era. Check out the exhibit, The 1940s, Through the War and Beyond, here at the Lorenzo Cultural Center, and learn more about our history. For Bath City Beat, I'm Sara Byks.